What is going on, Trash Talkers? We're back with another episode for you. In today's video, we're going to give you our top 5 landing spots for Odell Beckham Jr. All that and much more coming your way right now! All right, before we get into today's video, be sure to hit that subscribe button and like the video as it will help us out tremendously. So sit back, relax, and enjoy today's video. All right, Nick, with training camps getting underway, we have to take a look at some of the free agents that are still available, and one really stands out in particular, that being Odell Beckham Jr. OBJ still out there as a free agent, and mostly by choice. He's waiting for his rehab to fully get done. He wants to be fully healthy and ready to go before he decides where he's going to be playing football next. Obviously, he missed out on finishing the Super Bowl with the Rams last year, still got a ring because he was super productive all the way up until that point and even into part of the Super Bowl. Unfortunately, it just did not end the way he wanted it to. Nonetheless, we have 5 landing spots for Odell Beckham Jr. Nick, I want your thoughts on all of these, so I'm going to rattle them off to you, and I'm going to start off with the team that has been rumored for absolute years now to get Odell Beckham Jr., the New England Patriots. What do you think his fit would be on with this team?
Yeah, I don't think that Odell Beckham Jr. really fits with the New England Patriots. OBJ, to me, is still looking for another ring. He wants to compete. It's really not about the money for him. And for him to come to the New England Patriots wouldn't make much sense. They're a team that won't be able to get past a divisional rival in the Buffalo Bills. So why is he going to waste his time on a roster that won't be making it past the first or second rounds of the playoffs? It wouldn't make much sense to me, especially when you look at getting Devontae Parker, getting Tyquan Thornton in the draft, with getting Kendrick Bourne last year. I mean, there's enough weapons on this team, and I don't see a fit for OBJ at the moment.
Now, I agree 100%. I believe that he would want to play for Bill Belichick, and that want will always be there. Maybe down the line at some point, but as of right now, it doesn't make a ton of sense. I think he could help the Patriots get over the hump that is the Buffalo Bills, but it wouldn't happen this year. I believe that if he were to do it, it would be in a few years, not right now. So I'll put the Patriots on the back burner, and we'll continue to rumor that one for years to come. But another team that is desperately in need of a wide receiver and somebody who I think would be a good fit, the Indianapolis Colts. Nick, what are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, very similar to the New England Patriots. I think the Indianapolis Colts are still behind the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, they have Jonathan Taylor who can get them really far, and Matt Ryan is a really nice improvement over Carson Wentz and has been to the Super Bowl. But I think when you see it, OBJ and what he's really giving you, he's not going to be a true number one unless there is another true number one to take some of that heat off of him. We saw OBJ get really hot in the Super Bowl with Cooper Kupp getting double, triple covered, and Matthew Stafford was finding his target. But if you were to put OBJ on the Indianapolis Colts, he is the de facto number one receiver, and he is now the double, triple covered guy. That didn't work out in Cleveland. I don't think that would work out in Indianapolis. I just don't see the fit here.
I think that the Indianapolis Colts desperately need a veteran wide receiver to go along with Alec Pierce and Michael Pittman. I believe that they need a guy who can come in, step up, and be that number one guy. I'm with you, though. I don't think Odell Beckham Jr. is that guy. I think they missed their opportunity in getting a guy like Julio Jones to come and join this team because he would have been the best player to work with Matt Ryan as he did for so many years in Atlanta. I just think that the Indianapolis Colts are past the point of Odell Beckham Jr. Moving on, I think another team that could be highly viable for Odell would be the Green Bay Packers. Nick, your thoughts on Aaron Rodgers pairing up with OBJ?
Yeah, I think this is an interesting team for OBJ. The Green Bay Packers lacking that true number one, and OBJ would be getting double, triple covered there. But at least he has Aaron Rodgers throwing him the football, and we know Aaron Rodgers loves feeding his number one guy. Davante Adams was that guy for so many years, getting 150 plus targets every season. OBJ would be seeing a ton of accurate passes come his way and have a lot of ability to make big plays for the Packers, just what he's been looking for. But But when you look at the rest of the NFC, do you really think that adding OBJ to the Green Bay Packers is enough to get past, say, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers or the Los Angeles Rams? No, I think that that's going to be too much asking of him, and he's not going to be able to get them to the promised land. OBJ, like I said, is looking for that ring, and if he doesn't believe there is a straight path to that Super Bowl, then he's not going to want to go that route.
I disagree with his mentality. I believe that he's willing to work for it with a possible contender. Doesn't need to be the best team in the NFL, but I believe it will be a team that is up in the upper echelon. I think he can be a difference maker. I think that's the key difference between your thinking and mine. But nonetheless, I think that the Green Bay Packers have probably passed the prime of OBJ. Aaron Rodgers is kind of, he took his contract. He's mailing it in at this point. Packers fans, you know what it is. You're not getting OBJ. You're stuck with Christian Watson and company, and it's not going to be pretty this year. So buckle in, strap up, and get ready to go, because it's not going to be your year. Nick, another team I want to talk about, a team that believes it's always their year, and that be them boys, the Dallas Cowboys. Nick, talk to me about the fit of OBJ with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb.
Yeah, another really interesting team, and actually a team I'm surprised not many are talking about. With Amari Cooper leaving, they have a void with that 1 to number 2 wide receiver, and CeeDee Lamb may be ready to take that step, and that's exactly what would be perfect for Odell Beckham Jr., a guy who doesn't want to be that de facto number 1. CeeDee Lamb will be taking a lot of pressure away, and Dak Prescott is an incredible quarterback who's very accurate, would work great with OBJ. I think that this would be a very strong team to go to. But this is where me and you both differ. You think that he's willing to go to a contender. I think that the Dallas Cowboys are just too much of a question mark when it comes to their competitive level and keeping up with the rest of the conference. And I definitely don't believe that the Cowboys will be competing in the NFC this year.
Yeah, I think that the Dallas Cowboys are definitely a long shot. I think they want to see what they have in CeeDee Lamb as a bona fide 1, maybe even Gallup as a 2. I think that that's going to be the true test here, and we already heard Jerry Jones talk about how they want the offense running through Zeke this year, so I'm not exactly sure what Dallas and Mike McCarthy are doing, but all I can say is that I don't think OBJ will be rocking the star on his helmet, especially with his roots being in New York. It's going to be very difficult for him to rock that Dallas Cowboys star. Last and not least, Nick, I want to talk to you about the final fit I have here. But before we do that, guys, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the video. It'll help us out tremendously. All right, Nick, the final team I want to talk to you about, the Los Angeles Rams, the team that he won the Super Bowl with last year. Again, we talked about in the open, he did not finish the Super Bowl, obviously, with the torn ACL. Does he go back for vengeance? Does he go back with the team that he knows, with Matthew Stafford? His spot is gone. I have to mention that. His spot is gone. Allen Robinson took that spot. Now you have Cooper Kupp, Allen Robinson. Van Jefferson is supposed to come around this year. Could you see him being a 3, maybe 4 on the Los Angeles Rams?
No, there's no way that I think OBJ is going to be a 3 or a 4. But I believe he'll be on the Los Angeles Rams, and he'll be the number 2. If we look back to the last couple of years, Allen Robinson has yet to prove to us that he can stay at that elite level. And yes, he was paid like an elite wide receiver, but that does not mean that he will show up and do that like OBJ did last season. We do know, however, that OBJ works in this offense, and if we look back to that Super Bowl, OBJ was on his way to being the MVP if he didn't get hurt. So when we look at what OBJ brings to this roster and what he would be able to give to them, he would not only make them the strongest team in the NFC, but I think that makes the Rams the number 1 team in the NFL to get to the Super Bowl. He having that chemistry with Matthew Stafford is going to go a long way, and I think that he would be a very big part of this offense. That's already been proven to him, and he would have that level of comfortability that he needs as a player. We didn't see that in Cleveland, and we saw that in a short amount of time with Los Angeles. Give him a full year, and we're going to see that get better and better.
Yeah, I definitely like the fit with the Rams. whether he's a 2 or a 3, I don't think really matters to him as long as he's contributing on a team that's going to the Super Bowl, going to win the Super Bowl. That is first and foremost in his mind. And a lot of people used to think that he was a diva wide receiver who only wanted receptions and that was it. I think he disproved that last year by doing whatever it took, letting Cooper Kupp truly be the best wide receiver on his team while he was able to flourish as a number 2. I think that the Los Angeles Rams make the most sense. And when we're taking a look at Odell Beckham Jr. and his timeline, we're looking around Thanksgiving before he might be making a decision. So we have quite a lot of time before we figure out where he's going to go, before he even starts to think where he's going to go. But nonetheless, I want to hear from you guys. Let us know in the comments down below what you think of Odell Beckham Jr. and where he could possibly end up playing this season. All right, well, that's going to be all for now. Thank you all for watching. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Hit that notification bell. We go live every single day. That'll be all. Peace and love.